pictures
big
then.
ones too. Look at where we screwed it up.
Yeah.
We got for the manager.
How's that?
Hello.
That'll work.
Becky's coming.
Becky put in her car.
So we
So
have it
we
for the
wouldn't
week.
forget it for the weekend. Been traveling her car for a week.
Hello, Tom.
Okay, it's now the hour for calling our meeting to order. At this time, I'll call this special meeting of Gilmer County Board of Education to order. And we'll take roll. Mrs. Hurley, Dr. Armour, Tom Ratliff, Misty Pritt. Okay, at this time, Carl, would you lead us in the pledge?
Flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3 on our agenda has to do with action proposed on the real estate agreement between the Gilmer County Board of Education and the Gilmer County Health Center Board of Trustees. And at this time, in accordance with state law 6-98-49, I would ask for a motion that we go into executive session.
May I ask what reason?
Discuss property.
Properly.
We're not going to follow the schedule on the agenda.
Point of order.
That is the agenda.
Considering
Point of
it is-
order. Don't you only go into, and I'm not trying to be obstinate or anything, just a question. Don't you only go into executive session when you're discussing property in such a way that could affect the price or the cost? Just to hear about property in general, I'm not sure.
I thought it was transfer or sale of
Well,
real estate.
it's my understanding that any discussion involving finances, either lease agreements or purchase or sale of property, that is proper to go into executive session to discuss the details.
To be honest with you, I did not purchase and sale. I do understand or transfer a property owned by the board, but I had no knowledge that it would be due to a lease.
The question I would have, when you go into an executive session,
Wait a
what
minute,
we're going to talk
point of
about.
order, you need to make a
Point of
motion.
order or whatever.
Make a motion
Listen,
and
we're not
second.
going to have any of this
Okay, he
today.
shouldn't interrupt me when I'm talking.
Well, then
Need a
let's
motion and
go
second.
ahead and conduct
Do it
business.
properly.
We have a motion, do we have a second? I'll second it. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay.
Nay.
Okay, we have a 2-2.
Go to the second one, same way. Second one.
May I ask him a question now?
All right.
Okay, the question I was going to ask, it's my understanding when you go in executive session, what you say is confidential.
Yes.
Okay, is it right for information we be talking about, including costs involved, to be withheld in secret from the public? That was what I was going to ask.
Well, it certainly wouldn't be, because once we come back out, we will have a motion and vote on that motion, and that information then becomes public.
I have been told from 2 sources in Charleston, both from the state board area, that anything in executive session, you certainly have the right to discuss it. However, if in fact it's information regarding a person or their property that they would feel that you were violating their privacy or their rights, they could sue you. But you certainly, it's not a secret, you know, that you cannot speak of anything in executive session, and I haven't seen a law to that effect. However, That's what I was told.
Well, Norma, there's a lot of information out there. You can get all kinds of information, pro and con. What we're trying to do is to get a decision made on whether or not we move from this location to another location for our county offices.
I understand that totally, and for that reason, I do not understand the need for executive session to discuss the possibility of paying rent.
It's not on the agenda, there's nothing to be discussed.
Okay. We want to move on then with item 4.
I would like to have a discussion on the proposal Mr. Devon made earlier. You know, this is on the agenda, and the only way that we can change this agenda, according to my understanding of Robert's Rules and Order, is for someone to make a motion that something be changed or eliminated. Second is required. If you get a majority of vote, then you can go ahead with it. But I have some very, I think, necessary issues to ask or bring up about this move.
Mr. Superintendent, what's your pleasure?
Again, I will not discuss any property, anything out of executive session.
Why did we discuss it at the last
It
meeting?
should have not been discussed.
So you made a mistake.
Well, whatever you want to call it.
How is the lease discussing property? It's nothing we own,
You can
sir.
go to number 4 if you want to do it
Okay,
for
then
an
we'll
executive session.
Sir?
just go ahead.
So
Mr. Devine, that is
the
a
draft
property we
lease,
own.
the draft lease that we discussed, and you distributed that draft lease,
Gave it to you personally.
we're supposed to act as if that didn't exist.
It was given to the board for your information.
But it was at a public meeting, and anything given to a board member at a public meeting automatically becomes part of the public record. So by you distributing that lease,
I'm not going to discuss this anymore. Let's go to the next one. If they want to go into executive session, discuss that one we can.
okay, may I discuss what I came to talk about then regarding this lease?
No, sir. No, not
So
discussing
you-
property in the executive.
Mr.
Now-
Devine,
okay, this
this
has-
is not the county's property, sir, that you are discussing.
No, it's not.
Okay. Go to the next one, discussion.
Okay,
I would like to lodge a protest that we're using improper procedure according to Robert's Rules of Order. And having said that, I'm willing to go on to the next topic. But please record in the official minutes that I protested the way this was handled. I think that we have an obligation to be honest and open with people in this county when it comes to potential use of taxpayers' funds. And we have an obligation to all the children in this county to do the very best we can when it comes to spending money.
I would like my
I
protest
think we
recorded
all
as well,
probably
please.
feel that way. We've just got different perspectives on where we think that the emphasis should be placed.
I would like my protest to be lodged as well and to be recorded in the minutes that we were not permitted to discuss
Yes.
the
Well,
lease
if
for
you wanna
property
go-
that we
you-
did
You
not
have the
own.
right to discuss the but you're going to do
For
it in
a
executive
lease, for
session.
a lease, for a property that we do not own. That is what we would be discussing. If we were discussing a property owned by the County Board of Education, I would have absolutely no problem. That property we do not own, have no right or title to it, and it has absolutely no place in executive session. We are discussing expending the taxpayer dollar at an excessive amount.
We just need to move on.
Well, I think then it's obvious this isn't going anywhere.
Okay, may I do it in the right way? May I make a motion?
How was that done?
And to do it the right way, as I understand it, that we eliminate this agenda item and we go to the next agenda topic. And the motion dies for lack of a second.
I'll second that motion.
And a second. Okay.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor of that motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Nay. Motion dies. Okay, let's go on to item 4, discussion with legal counsel regarding real estate.
No, I think since it died, we got to stick with 3, don't we? the motion was to go on to 4,
Well,
and it didn't pass.
You gotta discuss what's on the on your
Yes,
agenda.
we do.
You know the Robert rules and everything else like that. You know, the only thing that you can discuss is what's on this special agenda.
That's right, and number 3 is.
And number 3, you gotta go into executive session. You guys voted not to go into executive session, so now we're down to number 4. If you wanna go into executive session with number 4, you need a motion, a second, then discuss it. If you don't want it to go into executive session with number 4, you make a motion, a
Well, you-
second, not to go to number 4,
To
then we
be
go to
respectful,
adjournment.
no, instead of raising voices
Nobody's raising
and,
voices.
showing any type of anger or making a personal
Carl,
attack, would you
I'm
explain?
part of-
Would
I'm
you
part-
explain to
let's,
me?
Carl,
wait a
I'm part
minute.
of your inclinations towards me,
No,
and I'll make.
that's a
and I'll-
personal
Mr.
attack.
Devon,
in this-
You know,
let's move
these
on.
personal
Superintendent.
attacks they run a lot of ways. Let's
Move on.
try to be adults and have
That's what
a
I'm trying to do.
discussion.
I'm
No,
trying
you
to-
While you're
want-
at
you
it,
want to
look
do
at the
the
person
rules.
next to
You
you.
want
Do
to
not
decide.
look.
No, I wanna follow the rules.
No one
Well,
decided
we've
anything.
been
Mr.
down that
President,
road.
you are talking to a
Delegations
board
did not
member.
occur in that Robert's
That is
Rules of
enough.
Order. Enough.
Wait a minute, what are we talking
No,
about?
enough.
delegations?
I call for a motion to adjourn.
All right, that's it. All in favor?
So, aye. Those opposed, nay.
Aye. Nay.
Okay, so we're at stalemate. Mr. Superintendent, you'll have to make the decision.
We'll adjourn.
Can we have a 5-minute break?
We just adjourned.
We need to do something. This is going absolutely nowhere. We're a group of supposedly intelligent people, and I'll be damned if I've never seen anything like this.
No,
You mind turning
you
that
don't
off,
want
please?
intelligent people to discuss it, Mr. Stearns.
Well,
That's
I
quite
know
obvious.
a little about intelligent people.
Yes, sir, I believe that you do, and I'm not insulting you whatsoever. Do not intend to insult me, but that a board member has to take insults
Well,
is absolutely ridiculous.
you're good at that.
Am I really?
Well, you surely
I'd
are.
like to know why.
Mr.
When have I
Chair.
attacked you other than to defend myself or another board member from being attacked?
Well,
Jacob, thank you.
And Dave, this is all wrong. You know this, I know this, this is wrong.
Why? Because you told me before the meeting that they were gonna raise the rent whether we liked it or not, Bill?
Well,
Is
let's
that
just
why
wait,
it's
let's
wrong?
wait and see what happens.
Well, whatever. Do we have a choice, sir? Apparently not.
No,
Yeah.
So if we don't have a choice, why are we here?
Yeah, why are we here?
well, we have a chance to make this place handicapped accessible.
No. We
As
had a
my-
choice. We had a
as my
choice to go
attorney
behind
says,
closed
the
doors.
way
You
it
guys
is
cut it
is
out
a
because
really
he's
bad
filming
message.
everything right
We
there.
had a
It's
choice
gonna
to
be
go
on
behind
there.
closed doors and
It's
make
not
decisions.
fair.
That's our-
No.
It's not fair to him filming it while we're doing
I
that.
think we ought to do things in an honest